4th of May 2022. I just want to go over what I've been doing recently. So back on the 10th of March, I did this 30-day challenge, which is to do a trade a day. Just to see how where I could sort of do things better and get some consistency. And I didn't end up doing a trade a day. It was a bit less than that. But as I've gone through previous videos, it was really quite insightful. So what I decided to do was after then just continue that, just to see where my numbers are heading and any sort of further improvements. So I did this on a minimal number of trades, literally 1 or 2 shares at a time, just to make things easy. I didn't do options either. I do have a preference for options, but just because things haven't been going great this year, I'm down a few percent, which is, to be fair, better than the markets, and just reading better than plenty of hedge fund managers, but just didn't feel like things were sort of clicking, was a bit all over the place. So anyway, I want to go through where the numbers are up to at the moment, and then I'm also going to go through a bunch of trades during this period, just to collect my thoughts a bit further. So I've got 3 columns of trades here. The first one is the trades that are unadjusted. Now those numbers actually are pretty bad. Average win 10%, average loss 8%, more losses than winners. So yeah. So what was that figure? Yeah, number of wins to losses was only 38%, but worse so was my average winner was only 20% bigger than my average loss. So Kelly thought I'm going to say, well, pack up and go home, go and do something else. Not too concerned about this column because I was doing some muck around type things. I didn't take some stops when I otherwise would have. The numbers are a little bit sort of weird there. I said, okay, well, let's just start to tighten things up. So the first one is, what happens if I just bought pullback stocks only? In a very choppy market, the breakout or BGU type trades are very difficult. So I thought, righto, in choppy markets, I'm just going to buy pullbacks only. So that restricted the number of trades down from 21 to 17. Now these are closed trades. I've got plenty of open at the moment, or a few open. But yeah, immediately the numbers started to tighten up. So the average winner was 14.7%. Average loss, not quite sure why that's bigger than that, but anyway. So yeah, that improved the win-loss ratio. So still not great. You really wouldn't bother sort of trading on that, but yeah, definitely an uptick in performance just by like buying those sort of vomit type trades. And then further to that, I said, okay, I'm only going to buy a pullback, and I'll take a maximum loss of 8%. So, and that's really brought the numbers into its own. So yeah, same average winner of 14.7%, but the average loss has dropped to 5.8%. And that's just because I had some silly trades in here. And I said, right, make sure no stop loss goes any further than 8%. I'm right 47% of the time, and when I'm right, it's 2.5 times my average loss, which is great. Really happy with those numbers there. So the benchmark that you read in the trading books is 50% win-loss and make twice as much. Make twice as much as compared to what you lose. So, and that Kelly formula is saying, well, you roughly should put 25% of your portfolio into each trade. I'm not going to go into position sizing at the moment. That's sort of confusing me thinking about that. I'm just trying to get my sort of entries and exits tuned back to what I think is good before I start to scale back up again. So anyway, yeah, really happy with that. Now I'm going to go through some individual No, sorry, I should say this is in the context of a market that is all over the place. We did have a follow through and a rally at 16th of March, and then yeah, both S&P and the Nasdaq then hit a brick wall, then have sold back to lower levels since. So to have these sort of numbers in a really tough market, yeah, I'm really quite chuffed about. So the other thing is, okay, so a number of things. So having automatic, what I put is the stop loss in when I put the trade on, so that way I didn't have to think about it. I have been sort of stopped out automatically a few times, and yeah, my sleep at night factor is just so much better. I was just not having to think about it, and just take a nice small loss if that's what the markets give me, and then just move on. Don't have to think about it too much. The other thing that's sort of really coming out is just focusing on the leading groups, the leading sectors, and the leading stocks within those sectors that are just having hopefully a temporary pullback. Discussed in previous videos that bottom fishing is really tough work unless there's very specific circumstances like a major market sell-off. You're buying sort of bankruptcy type trades, but in the meantime, yeah, bottom fishing stocks with overhead resistance is just a sort of, it's not a fun experience. The stocks never have any sort of power. They might rally for a few days and then get sold off. And whereas stocks that are in the close to all-time highs, doing well, trending well, when they move, they'll move really quickly, and you make money really quickly. So it's just a much more pleasant experience. So let's go through some specific trades. I'm going to start with my most recent trades and work backwards. So CF sold this at a 1.9% win. Now, of course, it sort of moves on from there. So it brings on a board, it sort of tagged the 50-day upside reversal. People on Twitter were starting to say these were sort of bear flags, and they might well be right. So I was starting to get a bit nervous on that sort of potential. So anyway, sold this out last night, partly because this sort of bear flag argument, but also it's got earnings coming out, so I just shouldn't be there. So that's an easy sell. FMC. Took a 2.7% loss in this one. Got stopped out here last night. Again, that sort of bear flag type argument there. The only mistake I've made there was I don't know why I wasn't more alert to this, but there was earnings. I think it was overnight, the day before, so I shouldn't have been in here to start off with, or if I was, just closed it up the day before earnings, just to be safe. Anyway, so if I didn't have a stop loss, sort of just put into a trading software, I'm sorry, a brokerage, yeah, I would have woken up with a much bigger loss this morning. So yeah, glad I did that. Righto. Next one, Petrobras. Just took a loss on this, 3%. Bonus sort of pulled back to the 50-day here. Just got stopped out. I don't think anything really wrong with this trade. I did make a note that sort of maybe I was getting the narrative letting the narrative get a bit too much in my head there, but not otherwise. I'm happy with that trade. 3% loss isn't going to kill anyone. NBR, another one I got stopped on. I'm actually thinking about buying this back again. It's holding it, got sort of shaken out under the 50 there. Would have been heaps of people that would have that would have sold out on that basis. But yeah, can't remember when I bought it, but got a small stop loss there. Not really sort of too concerned about that. BTU. Yeah, I knew this was being a bit aggressive. I got stopped out, I think, one of those days. Yeah, it's just a volatile stock. So that's a 6.8% loss. Okay, let's go through more trades. Okay, CDEV. 7.2%. Bought it in one of these pullbacks here. Sold it. So I can't remember where. It's actually around here. I was actually concerned this was starting to sort of do that meandering stage 3 thing, and this is just as the market, overall market, is starting to roll over. So I actually sold a whole bunch of stocks then. That was, sorry, the 21st of the 4th. Yeah, right there. Next one, CWST. Uh, 21st of the 4th also. Now, I think I sold that more because not necessarily the chart was bad. It's just because it was just what I realised it wasn't a leading sector. So why don't we just jump out? So the overall rally was starting to look a bit weak in the market. So yeah, just wanted to get risk off the table. Air. Sold that the same day. Yeah, again, that was the right thing to do. Okay, sector. So yeah, I do need to take the overall market action into context as well as the individual trades. I've got that in my notes, and I think I did it pretty well with a whole bunch of trades. Yeah, just because the individual stock looks all right, if the overall market's about to dump, then you don't need to sort of hang around and find that out. Same with Hess. This is a great one, 21st. Yeah, so we're starting to have those sort of big sell-offs that day. That was a 70% gain. WFRD. Sold that the same day. %17.8% gain. Yeah, I was just getting concerned. Things were starting to roll over there. Had some good gains, so yeah, locked in the trades there. That's not a bad sample. This is the last one. I think I've confused with ARLP. So shakeout, sold it. I think it was here. Now that might be a bit of a mistake, but we'll see. Anyway, that was a 26% gain, so that really got my stats moving along nicely. There's also concern in a choppy market with things that are just spiking up like that. Can they just get sort of, do that, just roll back over? Of course, I don't know, but it was just good to lock that in. It's good for the stats. Anyway, that's a good sample of trades. So yeah, key things that I'm seeing is just put stop losses in when I enter the trade. I don't have to think about it. Whatever happens, happens. Stick to the leading sectors. Actually, just try not to overthink things too much. Look at the charts. Look at the overall market. Just do your analysis. Make a decision. Try and learn from that, but don't overthink just things too much. release individual trades too much. Just keep working on the system to allow me to get in, allow me to get out, and then the individual trades take care of themselves. What I'm now doing is putting a few more trades through. When I get to 20, I think that's going to give me sort of an overall sort of feeling of where my numbers are at, and then I'm going to start to scale up from there. Nowhere near sort of full amount, but start to scale my activity back up a bit. And then you have to start sort of thinking about position sizing, which would be different videos again, position sizing / options. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just going to continue this trading on small amounts just to get my sort of eye back in, which I think is actually working quite well.